In New York, it was a tale of two quarterbacks, Bob Greasy, the one who couldn't play, and Richard Todd, the one who most certainly did. Todd, who appears to be reaching full maturity in his third NFL season, led the new-look Jets to the biggest upset in the day of surprises. Todd threw for 3 touchdowns, 2 of them for 47 and 43 yards, to number 85, Wesley Walker. The combination of the fair-haired hero from Alabama and the world-class sprinter from California proved too much for the greasyless Dolphins, who, despite a remarkable run by number 24 Delvin Williams, were beaten soundly and artistically by the Jets in the day's biggest upset, 33-20. When Chuck Knox became the head coach of the Buffalo Bills, there was never a question of if the Bills would improve. It was simply a question of how long it would take. Against the New York Jets last week, Buffalo seemed ahead of schedule. An 85-yard interception return by Charles Rome was one of many encouraging signs Buffalo displayed throughout the afternoon. But on this day, it was the Jets of head coach Walt Michaels and quarterback Richard Todd which waved the magic wand of victory. Derek Gaffney's escape was but one of 3 New York touchdowns Todd materialized through the air. The other 2 went to Jerome Barkham as the Jets pulled out victory in the final minute of play. While both the Jets and the Bills have shown improvement over... Back east in New York, they make a big production number out of everything, including 2 straight wins by the Jets. The reason for the resurgence was quarterback Richard Todd, a young man who drops back without limping, stands tall in the pocket, and throws tracer bullets to sure-handed receivers like Derek Gaffney. Facing the Jets last week were the pesky Seattle Seahawks, that nuisance of an expansion team that scares the bejabbers out of everybody they play. It's tough to still call the Seahawks an expansion team when they can field talent like reserve running back David Sims, number 35, who pounded out 121 yards and 3 touchdowns in the Shea Stadium Dust Bowl. But the most devastating play to the Jets took place on 4th down late in the game and was good for only 5 yards. Instead of going for a sure field goal and a 3-point lead, Seahawk quarterback Jim Zorn gambled and won. Zorn's first down led to a touchdown as Seattle held on for a 24-17 victory over New York and one more step toward dropping that expansion tag for good. Walt Michaels and the New York Jets have come upon hard times. Last week against Washington, Jet quarterback Richard Todd felt the Redskins' pass rush pinch. Washington choked off the Jets' big play attack and 3 times took away the football. However, it wasn't until period 4 that New York's problems took on epidemic proportions. Number 65, Dave Butts, must have heard something crack. Unfortunately, when help did arrive, there was nothing that could be done. Richard Todd had suffered a fractured collarbone and would be lost to the Jets for 6 to 8 weeks. Washington's defensive finesse flustered the Jets all afternoon. Here end Coy Bacon pinched inside, while tackle Dyron Talbert circled untouched to the quarterback. One of 6 times that Todd and number 17 Matt Robinson fell to the Redskin rush. Offensively, number 7 Joe Theismann enjoyed another fine passing day, and his 2 scoring tosses raised his season total to 8, second best in the NFC. For the Jets, it was a disaster, while for the undefeated Redskins, it was a near-perfect tune-up for their upcoming grudge match with the Dallas Cowboys. Terry Bradshaw of the Steelers couldn't have looked much better. Off to his best start ever, Bradshaw threw for 3 touchdowns against the New York Jets as Pittsburgh remained the only unbeaten team in the AFC. The Jets, however, made it interesting. Reserve quarterback Matt Robinson, number 17, avoided the steel curtain long enough to set up 17 Jet points. Not a bad day against Pittsburgh. But reserve quarterbacks don't often beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, and last week was no exception. Steelers 28, Jets 17. Most figured the Buffalo Bills would ride their league-leading passing game right over the New York Jets last Sunday. And with guards Joe DeLamielleure and Reggie McKenzie mowing a path for rookie speedster Terry Miller, early it seemed as though this might happen. However, if New York ever respected such execution, it never showed, for the Jets spent the entire afternoon picking apart the Bills' aerial reputation. This 40-yard interception return by Burgess Owens opened a floodgate of Jet touchdowns, drowning out all of Buffalo's victory hopes. New York's points came in many wondrous ways. Running back Kevin Long chalked up 3 on the ground, and the special teams fielded another as the Jets ran away from the Bills in a contest that proved to be no contest at all. Bruce Harper's 82-yard sprint lifted New York's point total to 45, the NFL single-game high so far, while the Bills counted only 14. return of quarterback Burt Jones in Baltimore gave Colt fans a glimmer of hope for a return to glory. Injuries had all but sucked the life out of the 2-4 Colts, but a healthy Jones and the circumnavigating runs of Joe Washington, number 20, breathed new life into the heretofore stale Baltimore offense. Unfortunately, against the New York Jets, bright possibilities burst when Jones was blindsided by a blitz. Much more costly than the lost fumble was the loss of Jones for possibly several more games with a re-injured, separated shoulder. Into the breach stepped number 12, Bill Troop. His attempt to rifle Baltimore back into respectability started well, but ended badly. Like Jones, Troop was felled by injury and left the game. The only sound quarterback remaining belonged to the Jets, and Matt Robinson proceeded to bomb the worst defense in the AFC. Number 81, Derek Gaffney, is a surprise rookie from the University of Florida. While his contributions have been unexpected, those of second-year wide receiver Wesley Walker have not. Walker's 77-yard touchdown and 400 yards of New York offense proved enough to cripple the battered Colts 33-10. Under Bud Wilkinson, the end-around play has become the staple of the Cardinals' woeful offense. Unfortunately, the winless Wilkinson team reached the enemy end zone only once, while the New York Jets, without Richard Todd's accurate air arm, stayed mainly on the plains. The most gratifying development to result from Todd's injury has been the establishment of the Jet ground game and the emergence of the offensive line, particularly number 1 draft choice Chris Ward, which cleared the way for 2 Scott Dirking touchdowns. The Jets' thrashing of the 0-8 Cardinals vaulted the NFL's youngest team into a second-place tie with Miami, 1 game behind New England in the AFC East. New England fans have grown fat-headed for good reason. Their Patriots are a dominant team, tough on defense, often fast and flashy on offense. The only drawback has been the inconsistent generalship of Steve Grogan, who often is forced to outrun his throwing mistakes. But against the New York Jets, Grogan stood tall in the pocket and passed for 281 yards and 4 touchdowns in the first half alone. Besides muscling passes past the Jets, he displayed touch and timing on screen passes that opened up the field for Sam Cunningham, number 39. Not since the heyday of Mac Aaron have the Patriots possessed the game-breaking running back. But in number 23, Horace Ivory, they may have found a candidate. Ivory scored twice, and all in all, the Patriots were simply devastating as they routed the Jets 55-21. Out in Denver, the Broncos scored early and often in their meeting with the underdog New York Jets. Denver fullback John Keyworth rumbled 5 yards with the day's first 6-pointer. Soon thereafter, Denver's Orange Crush defense converted 2 Jet turnovers into easy scores, rolling up a seemingly insurmountable 28-7 lead. 'Twas then that a little-known backup quarterback named Matt Robinson decided to take apart the AFC's stingiest defense. New York's light-stepping receivers picked their way through Denver's secondary for 200-plus yards. In period 3, running back Scott Durking hammered home the Jets' 3rd touchdown as New York pulled to within 4. Then, late in the final period, Robinson laid to rest Denver's claim that the 4th period belongs to the Broncos. "75 yards later, Wesley Walker scored the eventual game winner as the Jets upset the slumping Broncos 31-28. Down 28-7 and coming off a shellacking in New England, the Jets appeared to be a team on the decline. But despite injuries and other assorted adversity, this team continues to play well against the NFL's stiffest competition. Even without first unit quarterback Richard Todd, Walt Michaels' club has managed to remain competitive. They're the youngest team in football. They're still a factor in the AFC Eastern Division, and their visit to Denver's Mile High Stadium will not soon be forgotten. Running out of steam, Ron Jaworski and the Philadelphia Eagles are just beginning to roll. Last Sunday against the Jets, Jaworski threw 2 perfect scoring passes. Number 17, Harold Carmichael, is a tough target to miss. Towering 80 inches above the earth, Carmichael has the reach to go up high as well as the good hands to survive close encounters in the corner. In the absence of running star Wilbert Montgomery, Carmichael has become a pivotal figure in the Eagles' resurgence, and his 6'8" frame is one big reason the Eagles are 6-5 and still in contention for the playoffs. In Shea Stadium, New York, Jet fans welcome back their long-lost starting quarterback. But if Richard Todd was planning on staying and playing a while, then he was running the wrong plays. A quarterback draw is always risky, particularly when the quarterback in question is a recent graduate of the injury list. And so once again, Todd left a football field with an injured shoulder. Only this time he's gone for the remainder of the season. New England's Steve Grogan, on the other hand, runs the quarterback draw without a second thought. Healthy runners don't have to hesitate, and New England's runners, Grogan included, certainly are healthy. Going into Week 13, New England doesn't have a running back listed in the top 10, but as a team, they lead the entire NFL in rushing and rank second in scoring points. Against the Jets, their persistent ground game produced a 16-10 lead. And with Todd sidelined, the confident Patriots appeared to have matters very much under control. But then number 17, super sub Matt Robinson, got involved. For the 8 weeks Todd was absent, Robinson and number 85 Wesley Walker sustained the Jets in their fight against playoff extinction. In period 4, they produced enough points and yardage to set up a garden variety game-winning field goal attempt. And again, Robinson did what was asked. But this time, the Jets fell victim to a bit of tragic irony. 1 year ago, in a somewhat meaningless game, number 5 Pat Leahy clicked on a last-second field goal as the Jets upset New England. Last week, with New York fighting for a playoff berth, he missed one. You've all heard the phrase, the agony of defeat. Well, you'll not often see it so vividly expressed. There was no joy in Shea Stadium, where the Jets' playoff hopes fell to the Patriots 19-17. Playing in the home Florida warmth with a healthy and sharp Bob Greasy, fans were sure their Dolphins would avenge an opening game loss to the surprising New York Jets. Unfortunately, Bob Greasy had one of his extremely rare off days, turning the ball over 4 times on a costly fumble and 3 interceptions. Conversely, Jet quarterback Matt Robinson had his finest day in a New York uniform, passing for over 250 yards on 17 completions. Wesley Walker's touchdown catch iced the second Jet thrashing of the Dolphins, 24-13. Last week, for old time's sake, the New York Jets celebrated the 10th anniversary of their Super Bowl III victory over the Baltimore Colts. A decade ago, the magical names were Eubank, Philbin, Biggs, Sample, Sauer, and Boozer, plus the most noted name of all, Joe Namath. Today's Jets are paced by quarterback Matt Robinson, almost unknown 2 months ago before replacing injured Richard Todd, and his dangerous wide receiver, number 85, Wesley Walker. Under Robinson, the former second-string quarterback from Georgia, the Jets have won 6 of the 9 games he has started. Last week against these same Colts they had beaten in Super Bowl III, Robinson passed for 2 big touchdowns to Walker, who became the first NFL player to exceed 1,000 yards in receptions, and the first Jet since Don Maynard and George Sauer did it in Super 68. The easy victory over Baltimore gave the Jets a record of 8-6 and kept this young team firmly on the path to the playoffs. On a day when Joe Namath and company returned to Old Lang Syne, it was New York's new heroes who clearly were the toast of the town. the New York Jets with a 519-yard offensive blitz that saw them take a 17-point lead into the fourth quarter. But the Jets, who seemed to be bothered by the 16-degree temperatures blowing off Lake Erie, scored 24 points in the space of just 8 minutes. With the score tied, New York's biggest and strangest play came on a kickoff when the leading returner in the NFL, rookie Keith Wright, number 89, bobbled the ball directly into the hands of a Jet. Darnell Powell, number 20, was finally tripped up at the Cleveland 8. The crucial turnover led to the Jets' tie-breaking 34th point, and ahead by 7 with just a minute 16 to go, New York's playoff picture looked bright. But Brian Sipe brought the Browns right back. Sipe has been the league's hottest quarterback the past month, throwing for well over 1,000 yards in his last 4 games. With 20 seconds showing, Sipe fired a strike to Old Pro Calvin Hill for the touchdown that tied the game at 34. For Hill, it was his 7th TD since joining Cleveland in midseason. In sudden death, Cleveland won the toss, and the name of the game became Greg Pruitt. It was Pruitt on a rare kick return for 31 yards, then Pruitt sweeping left for 13, and Pruitt sweeping right for 26. On the day, little number 34 personally accounted for 238 yards of offense and put the ball in field goal range. On second down, Cleveland put the Jets out of their misery when dependable Don Cockroft kicked a 22-yard field goal to win the game. The 37-34 Donnybrook ended the Jets' playoff dreams and gave Cleveland its 8th triumph of 1978 and renewed hopes for the future. Last Sunday, the New York Jets knew they'd have to play their best defensive game of the season and crank up their passing attack if they were to derail the white-hot Dallas Cowboys. But the Jets could only score once on the NFC's second-best defense. The Cowboys completely shackled New York by holding them to only 137 yards in total offense. They also sacked Jet passer Matt Robinson 5 times to finish the season with the most sacks of any NFL squad. The Cowboy attack had few problems in solving the Jet defense, however, as they scored early and often. Right now, Dallas is in such a good groove that even fumbles can magically transform into touchdowns. Cowboys romped 30-7 and appear to be peaking at just the right time for the playoffs.